Hi, my name is Mira and I am a current soccer player here at Iowa State. I'm really excited to be able to share my testimony and hopefully encourage some of you all that God is so incredibly good in every aspect of life. I grew up in a Catholic family where we prioritize going to church every Sunday. I have two younger brothers, and we have all been baptized, received First Communion, received First Reconciliation, and have been confirmed into the church. What helped us prepare for those sacraments was going to religious education classes every week and just learning more about Jesus and the Catholic faith overall. I vividly remember going to my second grade religious education class, and one of my teachers said to me, "You don't understand now. You might hate coming, but one day you're going to realize you can't go a day without the Lord." And honestly, this has been so incredibly evident in my daily life. After church on most Sundays as a family, we'd go out to breakfast and just recap and enjoy family time to refresh ourselves before heading into the next week full of activities. Since both my parents worked throughout the day, my mom is a teacher and my dad's an electrician, we went to a daycare before and after school. This daycare was a family of six who just simply took us in as their own family. They loved the Lord as well, and we call them our second family to this day. Every morning, my mom would drive us, and we would pray a Hail Mary or an Apostles' Creed. And it was a quick 1-2 minutes, but just to simply start the day off with the Lord, it really helped you get your mindset in the right place to take on the day. In middle school, I was a part of FCS, which is Fellowship of Christian Students, and this was run by a science teacher that we had there. And my brothers and I, we'd go with our daycare family friends, and every Friday morning before school, we'd bring treats and just gather to read and dive into the Lord's Word. At this moment, I didn't really understand what was going on. Like, grew up in the religious background, religious family, but I felt like there's a deeper meaning to it all. I just didn't understand the purpose as to why I was going. It's simple to just, go through the motions and just go to it, but I never really understood the purpose as to why. And yes, it's easy to say you love the Lord, it's easy to do all the right things, but what was that deeper meaning? So as life goes on, college comes around, and freshman year, obviously, it's a challenging time because leading up, you might have those worries about the transition, being far away from home, the anxiety about harder classes, as an athlete, being overwhelmed about workouts and school on top of that, and proving yourself every day. I remember getting to school and everything was just so new. The tradition that I had as a family, we didn't have every Sunday, obviously, and I just missed it. There's a piece of me that felt like was missing, and I was a little nervous. I was fearful for something new, but I truly wanted to seek the Lord. So I started searching and found a church on campus, St. Thomas Aquinas, and I walked about a half mile there and back every Sunday morning from my dorm because it just gave me that sense of peace to start my week off on the right foot. Then COVID hit, and I felt a new calling from the Lord to continue to grow and learn from Him. So I bought a 365-day devotional book that I read before bed, and I would read it, I'd reflect on it, and then I'd pray on it. And honestly, I could feel God's love just pouring into my heart, and it gave me a new sense of purpose. Finally, junior year rolls around, and I was asked to join FCA, which is Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And I met Lori Adams, the FCA leader, who is an absolute light. And she encouraged me to share my story. She took me in and honestly has just shared the gospel of the Lord, which has been so refreshing to hear. And then I met Shauna Wilson, who is now my second mom, basically. And I love to share the good news with her, but more importantly, we get to have the time every single week to sit down and just read the God's word, and it is truly life-changing. The FDA community took me in with open arms and has allowed me to find more about myself, but to learn more about who God is, how His magical things are so profound in my life and how I want to reciprocate that into others. And I took that step to deepen my faith because I had that calling from God. And something that I've learned and just continue to carry out every day is that God will never fail you. Over the last 5 years, my faith has significantly changed, and I've had a new sense of purpose in life. God has given me the feelings of just peace, love, happiness, and for myself to be grounded in everything that I do because He is my foundation. He is my rock. He has encouraged me to guide others to the Lord, just like my best friend. I met her here at Iowa State, and she took the steps to asking those hard and uncomfortable questions for her, and just has allowed God to move in her life. I've learned not to be afraid to give God glory. He wants us to give that back to Him and showing how great that He is. He has given me opportunities athletically, professionally, and just relationships that I truly will cherish forever. As an athlete, college student, high school student, or an adult, we go through different trials, obstacles, and hardships that may seem impossible. I've found that God is always by your side. If you happen to go through any of these, or, you're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs, but if you can understand that God has commanded us to glorify Him and to make Him known, to love one another, to share the light of His goodness, He will never let you down. He transforms our relationships, but we just have to believe in Him and give Him that chance. Before every game, something that I have it's become my routine is I read a Bible verse and I'll write it on my wrist, about right here. And it just reminds me that God is always with me. By having that foundation, it allows me to freely play, to practice, to perform for love, not from love. And our identity is not in sports. It's not in school. It's not in video games. It's not in music. It's none of your hobbies that you have. It's primarily being a child of God. So I'm going to leave you with this. My challenge for you all is to do everything with love, joy, and happiness. God has called us to be the salt of the earth and the light of the world. As it says in Matthew 5:13-14, you are the salt of the earth, and if salt lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled under people's feet. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. The world can be bland, so spice it up with our uniqueness. We all bring different personalities, talents, and gifts that the Lord has blessed us with. If you're a new believer, don't be afraid to ask those questions. You're in a community that truly values you. I'll be praying for you all as students, athletes, and young adults. I'd love to connect with any of you, so please reach out on social media or feel free to shoot me an email. I'd love to connect with you along your journey or just to simply start it. God bless you all.